Welcome to Dr. Cush's Exotic Drinks. I'm, of course, Dr. Cush, along with my barback Kyle. I'm not a real doctor, but I did spend almost 2 decades running some of LA's best bars. After years of teaching classes and training bartenders, I want to demystify the cocktail world for you. Let's try a few new things as I open up my bar to everybody. Belly up, chat, and let's have a drink. All right, everybody, welcome to Dr. Cush's Exotic Drinks. I'm Dr. Cush. We are here today in the midst of the summer of punch to try something. We thus far have been doing no experiments, all right? We thus far have just been making the drinks. We're trying an experiment tonight, all right? And we're going to try it with one of, if not the most important cocktail possibly to have ever been made. It's a cocktail that not everybody's heard of. I know I've spoken with Dougie G about this recently. He has heard of it. I'm sure some of you have heard of it. Listen, I'm sure that there are some people that have heard of this cocktail, but, oh gosh, my anterns, dang it. We were so close to having a perfect opening. That one's not going to work. Okay. Every time. We're going to experiment with something. Okay. This cocktail is called the Sumatra Kula. If you haven't heard of it, that's fine. But it is important. It's incredibly important, this cocktail. We'll get into why it is so important, why you most likely have not heard of it, and we are going to figure out exactly how to make this cocktail into something that you should not be embarrassed about. I have some special guests coming in at the very end to say hello, but before we get into the special guests, let me say hello to my regular guest. First of all, let me say hello to Bon Bon. She is unable to watch. She's got a birthday party to get to, but she is here in spirit. So if you wouldn't say something in front of Bon Bon, don't say it tonight, because her spirit will be there. And Bon Bon's spirit will put you in a suplex, twirl you around the head like it's a helicopter, throw you through the roof. Strong spirit, that one. Let me say hey-o to David Virtue, my 2,000th subscriber. He is here. He is ready. Met him at a bar called Tiki Tatsuya. Tiki Tatsuya. I may have a chance to go back to Tiki Tatsuya here pretty soon. We'll figure it out. Let me say hello to Tiki Tom Hubbard, just hanging out, waiting for the bar to open. We did open the bar early tonight to our VIP. I believe that Moose is still in there. You guys can hang out in the VIP if you want. Just follow this right here. What does the VIP get you? Nothing. I think you get to watch the show 1 second earlier. But there is a private chat. If you want to say something to me that you don't want to say in front of everybody else, there's a private chat in there. Let me say a good evening. Good evening to Shawnee Pandabaker, who is driving at the moment, will not be making the drinks while he's driving. Let me just say again, please do not make these drinks while you're driving. And let me just say this one more time. If you make the drinks, drink the drinks, don't go driving. Just stay at home. It's a home bar. Right? It's a home bar show. I'm not teaching you guys how to go out and work in the force. It's a home bar show. Make it at home. Stay at home. Take a nap. Let me say hello to the UF Mark. He is our resident gator. Chomp chomp. Good to see you, pal. Always a pleasure. Never chore. Davey Virtue. He knows it's early, but please tell me there's going to be an election night Tiki Tuesday. You better believe there is. Yep. We're going to have an election night Tiki Tuesday. What are we going to make that night? Don't know yet, but it'll be big. DC Debbie Clark, winner of the 2023 Cush Tucky Derby, can't stay. She's got to gallop right off, but popped in to say hello. That's all we want. Moose. Too bad that Debbie can't make it, but we do have Moose here, and that is good. Jeremy Foote with an hola, que pasa, wey? No hay de qué. Mira. Entonces, vamos a ver. Tiki Tom has a copy of it, Doc, that I wrote down, and it says I got it from you. Oh, well, so we're talking about, of course, the Sumatra Kula. Tiki Tom using my version. We're going to change that version up. Loriander's here. Good to see Loriander. Always good to see Loriander. Always a pleasure to see Loriander. Loriander, of course, coming from across the seas here. Let me say hello real quick to our good friend, our new friend, D. Dunkley. Love the name D. Dunkley. First time live viewer. Punch us up. D. Dunkley, we're getting ready to punch it up, baby. Let's go. Okay. We have talked about the rules in the past about punch. 1 of sour, 2 of sweet, 3 of strong, 4 of weak, and a little spice, make it all nice. We have talked about Donn Beach. Donn Beach, who sailed, circumnavigated the globe, bing bong. He made it from place to place and eventually learned enough about what makes these interesting tropical or island or Polynesian or whatever kind of drinks you're making, what made them interesting and delicious to drink. He brought that back to the United States. Eventually, he and mostly his wife opened up a bar called Donn the Beachcomber, and he started making the drinks there. Unfortunately, and if you go back on my Instagram and watch some of these early shows, you know that when you do something the first time, it can be really bad. It can be really, really bad. And I personally think that Donn Beach's first drink is not his best. I don't think it's even close to his best. And one of the reasons that we have never heard of the Sumatra Kula is because it is not... it's not a great cocktail. It's not a great cocktail. It's a good cocktail. It's fine. You can drink it. Not a great cocktail. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the rules of the punch and we're going to apply it to Donn Beach's very first cocktail. And we're going to see if there's a chance that we can fix it. Now, if we get through this really quickly, we're also going to try and carbonate some wine. Why are we going to do that? I don't know. Because I have this. Listen. I have my carbonator here. So we're going to do a little carbonating. We're carbonating the last drink anyway, so just get used to it. There's no booze in the recipe. Missing rum? Yes. Did I not put... Let me just check to make sure Paul is saying the right thing. Oh, it says rum. No, it does not say rum. Okay. Oops. Yeah, listen, there's don't... Listen, everybody close your eyes. Don't pay attention to that thing down there. We'll fix that later. There is rum in this. So for those of you that made this drink earlier without watching the show, tricks on you. Tricks on you. Let's make the drink first the correct way. It's a very, very simple cocktail. Not a lot going on here. It is 3 juices, 1 syrup, and some rum. That's it. 3 juices, 1 syrup, and some rum, which if we just think about 1 of sour, 2 of sweet, 3 of strong, 4 of weak, a little spice, make it all nice, doesn't make any sense. But it makes a little bit more sense. Now, I am going to be making this tonight not using any fresh juices. No fresh juices. Everything tonight is going to be from concentrate. I normally, obviously, recommend you make things from fresh juices. Tonight, we're not doing it because we are doing an experiment, a different experiment. But get ready. We're going to start off over here. This right here is our good friend, white grapefruit juice. This is one of our favorite Tiki ingredients. It shows up in some big cocktails. Mainly, the cocktail it shows up in is the zombie. We love a white grapefruit juice. It balances out pretty well against a lot of sweeter ingredients that normally go into cocktails. So I, myself, personally, I would call this a sour ingredient. If instead you're using a pink grapefruit juice, that can be a little sweeter. Are we following? I feel like that was pretty simple. I don't want to talk down to you guys. But very, very simple stuff we got here. Some white grapefruit juice. Donn's favorite was white grapefruit juice. We're using white grapefruit juice. We want to go ahead and put in 1/2 ounce of some white grapefruit juice. Easy. We don't normally have white grapefruit juice fresh here, so that's not crazy. But we normally have orange juice. Today, not so much. I want to make this in a large batch eventually, so we're testing this out to see if you can get Kroger 100% orange juice from concentrate to taste good in a cocktail. A lot of experiments going on today. I'm like Einstein. Did he do experiments? I'm like Tesla. I'm like Tesla. Go ahead and put in 1/2 ounce of some orange juice. Orange juice. Now, Loriander has read ahead. He has jumped in to the notes and seen that there's a lot of lime in this cocktail. That is not true. That is not true. Should we just fix it real quick? Why don't we just fix it real quick? I'm just going to, you guys don't mind, we're just going to bring out our old keyboard here. We're going to fix this. It's 1.5 ounces of oh, you're not going to work? Come on, buddy. You got to work right now. Now's your time. Not going to work. Don't worry about it then. 1.5 ounces of lime is insane. It is half an ounce of some lime juice. We are using Jugo de Limon, which is what we call when we're learning languages. It's called a false cognate. A false cognate. Limon looks a lot like lemon, but limon is actually lime. It's tough. Why not non-concentrated orange juice? There are some really good ones out there. Bootopia asking all the good questions. Good to see you, Bootopia. I don't know. What I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to use subpar ingredients in order to see if, even if we use subpar ingredients and we put them in the right proportions, let's say a punch proportion, 1 of sour, 2 of sweet, 3 of strong, 4 of weak, and a little spice, make it all nice. Can we make even subpar ingredients the good stuff? That's what we're figuring out. Don't put 1.5 ounces of lime juice in here. I don't care what the description says. We need 1/2 ounce of some lime juice. Doing great so far. Really, really doing great. I don't want to pat myself on the back or anything, but I'm going to. Next thing we need is this guy. This right here is our friend Runny Honey. Runny Honey. Runny Honey, of course, another name for runny honey is honey syrup. When I hear somebody say honey syrup, I always think 1-to-1 water to honey. That is not what we want. Runny honey to me is always 2-to-1. That is just completely made up in my own brain. Like when I call fat swaths of orange, when I call those dukes, it's just completely made up. I have no basis for calling anything that. To be honest, I have no right to call anything that. Either way, we're going to take some of this 2-to-1 runny honey syrup, and we're going to go ahead and put in 1/2 ounce. 1/2 ounce of some 2-to-1 honey syrup. So far, we're doing great. Put that there. In the description, it says the wrong thing, and the keyboard doesn't work to fix it. So we're flying blind here at this point. We are going to grab some rum. Again, we're trying to do this suboptimally. So the rum we're grabbing, I believe Bacardi might actually stand for suboptimal. I probably shouldn't say that. Can we cut that? Bacardi has a place in the rum pantheon. Bacardi, obviously, I think probably the second highest selling rum in the whole world, right behind Old Monk. Old Monk. It's a big selling rum, but it doesn't have all of the stuff, all the funk that we want in a rum. That's fine. That's fine, because today we're going to go ahead and put in 1.5 ounces of some Bacardi rum. Loriander asking, great question. You always do 2-to-1 honey. I think I do 3-to-1 honey. Yeah, listen, both of those are correct. 1-to-1 honey is not incorrect either. The issue is, of course, you then have to adjust some of your recipes. You have to adjust some of your recipes. When I seek out recipes that have honey in them, the thing that always comes up is 2-to-1 honey. 2-to-1 honey, and the recipes that I seek out are 1-to-1 simple syrup. So if I come across a 2-to-1 simple syrup, I got to adjust my recipe. If I come across a 3-to-1 honey, I got to adjust my recipe. But in the most cases, 2-to-1 honey is kind of standard. I will fight on that point. Obviously, I will fight anybody. But yeah, both of those are correct. Neither one of them are wrong. It's just a matter of, can you do that math real quick to fix this? That's the drink. That's the drink. Notably missing something. But we'll talk about that in the next time we make the drink. Go ahead and put a lot of ice in it. Give this a shake. Ah! 1, 2, 3. Let's get this one up. Okay. Let's put this, we'll put this one in here. Find glass to put it in. First of all, wash line. Hello, Guinness Book of World Records wash line contest. Perfect. The exact right amount of ice, the exact right amount of shaking, and the perfect glass for this. Wash line champion. This is the drink. If, oh, did I not say how much cheap rum? 1.5 ounces of cheap rum. David Virtue is a fan of the hot honey. Let me just say, David Virtue, nice guy. I met him. Had some drinks with him. Great guy. I think I might have turned, either he turned me on to, or I turned him on to Paranubis. Pretty sure I turned him on to Paranubis. Nice guy. I wouldn't recommend putting hot honey into your cocktails as a regular base. I wouldn't just switch out hot honey for regular honey. I also wouldn't recommend putting in honey mustard in your cocktails. Obviously, there are places for it, but not today. All right, let's grab one of Bon Bon's amazing straws, and we'll sip on this guy. It's fine. It's fine. Very, very famous cocktail this is. This is the Sumatra Kula. Let's get a second angle. Very, very famous cocktail. A lot of juices going into here. The issue, of course, that we run into is, why is it not balanced? What are we missing? If I can describe it right now, it has a hint of honey, just a whoop, a little touch of honey. It also is big grapefruit. We're not catching a lot of lime because the white grapefruit that we're using is taking up a lot of that sour real estate. And so the honey is doing everything it can. It's fighting. It runs right through the trenches. I gotta make it. Just in time to be completely taken over by the grapefruit. It's not doing great. It sort of tastes like a slightly sweetened rum Greyhound. That's all it is. I'm giving, I don't know if I'm allowed to do this. I'm going to talk to YouTube. I'm giving the UF Mark a gold star. If only we had something bitter to add. That's freaking it. Okay. So what we don't have in here is rum proportions, and we also don't have anything bitter in here. Hello? Donn. Open the door, buddy. We're coming in. Kyle, do you want this drink? Kyle, come and get this one. It's a fine. It's fine. It's just fine. Donn Beach has created some of the greatest tiki cocktails in existence. The Nuys. Why would I start there? The zombie. His is the zombie. It's such a perfectly balanced cocktail. The zombie is, even in Donn's mix, it is perfectly balanced to be a I'm making a point, and then in comes Kyle. It's perfectly balanced to be a punch in and of itself. Spectacular. This, there you go, pal. Got that? Just hold on to that. Don't drop that straw. See you later. Lori Anders says, if you had 3-to-1 honey, it would fight better. That is true. That is true. First of all, let me say hello real quick to our people that have joined late. Dougie G is running in late. What did he miss? He just missed the first drink, which was just fine. It's the Sumatra Kula, the regular way. Kim K asked me, possibly, am I running from the law? Yes. Good to see you, Kim K. Only 2 weeks. Oh my gosh. Loriander says, if you had 3-to-1 honey, it would fight better. Yeah. Or if you used more honey syrup, it would also fight better. Well, okay. How much honey syrup would we use then? I wish we had a dream sequence. Let's just do. How much? 1 of sour, 2 of sweet, 3 of strong, 4 of weak, and a little spice to make it all nice. Let's redo the Sumatra Kula so that it follows all of the proper punch conventions, and then we will see what we need to do to change it up, okay? So 1 of sour to 2 of sweet. Well, we have 2 sours going in here, in my opinion. We have lime and we have grapefruit. Those are 2 sour agents. Then we have a sweet, which is honey, and because we're using concentrate orange juice, we're not getting almost any sour from that. So we have a sour, which is also a sweet. So what we're going to need is double the amount of sweet as we are putting in sour. All right, so let's start with sour. If we want to do it the normal way, we would put in, we're going to make it, this is going to be a larger drink if we want to get this going, but that's fine. We're going to be putting in still 1/2 ounce of some lime juice. And also 1/2 ounce of some grapefruit juice. So technically, at that point, we have 1 ounce. We have 1 ounce of sour. I think we can probably adjust it a little bit either way. I think, you know, this is completely an experiment. I've been putting this off for a while now, this experiment for this. So we're trying something. We also have some from concentrate orange juice, because who knows when you might need from concentrate orange juice. We're going to be putting in 3/4 ounce of some from concentrate orange juice, giving us more, giving us that sweet. But in order to follow the proper conventions, 1 of sour, 2 of sweet, we got to put in a little bit more than 1 ounce of 2-to-1 honey syrup. 2-to-1 honey syrup, just a little bit more than 1 ounce. That's going to give us about 1 of sour, 2 of sweet. A little honey tiki pour. 3 of strong. 3 of strong. Ooh. How much rum is that going to be? Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Bacardi. Woo! We're going to go ahead and put in 2 ounces plus a tiki pour of some of our Bacardi. It's not really 3, but give me a break. 3 ounces, too much. So we have kept at this point, things are just flying everywhere. We have kept at this point the same amount of sour. We have doubled the sweet, and we have added a lot more of the booze. And thus we have a drink that, in my estimation, seems a lot more drinkable. We're going to find that honey. Depending on what rum you're using, that honey should be able to just sort of hold up all of that good rum. We should, in theory, be tasting some of that grapefruit, but it shouldn't taste like a big fat grapefruit bomb. That's what we've been having so far. Lime, maybe lime will show up a little bit more. We're going to see if we even need it. And then orange juice. Oh, we didn't even find orange juice in the last one, so maybe orange juice will stick out. Go ahead and put in a bunch of ice. And there we go. Let's give this a big old shake. Donn was nervous on his first day, so he got drunk and his math was off. I think, you know what? I think that might be the case. If you guys ever get a chance, if you follow me on Instagram, and I think you all should, you can scroll down on my Instagram. All of my very first shows are up there. It was shot on a phone. It was shot clearly on a potato. It was possibly, you know how we're winning awards with this shot right now. That we were not winning any awards at that point. You guys can go back and watch it. I have not, because it is painful, but I was also very nervous, and I understand how Donn would have been nervous on his first day creating his cocktails and run into a big fat nothing burger of a drink. We're going to throw this in here. Obviously, we have more drink at this point, so we're going to have a little bit more use, or a little bit less of a wash line. We're going to go ahead and drink. In my opinion, much, much better. But we have to scroll up, because who was it? Who said that we needed it was the UF Mark. UF Mark earlier said what we're missing is, of course, our bitters. A little spice to make it all nice. What bitters should we put in here? What bitters could possibly work in a drink such as this? Well, Donn Beach's bitters, of course. Donn Beach had a signature that he signed his cocktails with. You could always tell if Donn Beach had some if he had some way of making the cocktail, because at least a lot of his cocktails had something called herb stirra. It's herb sant and angostura that would go in to his cocktails. He didn't have it on his first one because he had not, this is a total conjecture. He had not figured out how to sign his cocktails. Well, we know now that what he would do is put in, let's go right here. He would put in a couple dashes of angostura bitters and a couple dashes of absinthe, or herb stirra at the time. It was illegal to have absinthe. But now it's not illegal to have absinthe, so we're going to be putting that in. Go ahead and put in, just to sort of round this baby out, we're going to go ahead and put in an ounce. Sorry, don't put in an ounce. We're going to put in 3 dashes of some angostura bitters. 6 dashes, because these are half dashes. And 3 dashes of some absinthe. We're going to give this a stir. First of all, the color changed. Used to be the color of white grapefruit juice. Now it has this much nicer, sort of pinker hue to it. It has more flavor. I can already smell the absinthe. I can already smell the angostura. Now we have in my opinion, a much more interesting cocktail. We'll get into what everybody's suggesting here in a second, because it's hilarious. Now that's a cocktail. We are cooking with gas at this point. We are going to work a little bit on, so we've tasted this one. We've put it in the same proportions as what a punch should be. I think that we could probably bring the sour up just a little bit. I think we can probably bring the honey down just a touch. I feel like maybe that extra glug wasn't right, but we are much, much closer with this cocktail than we were with the last one. I do just want to check real quick with Bootopia. What on earth is Hamilton 1515? Hamilton 1,515 proof? That's a lot. That's a lot. Let me say hello to Glenn Cushman. Now that's a cocktail. Absolutely. Good to see you, Glenn. We have two very special guests at the end of tonight's show, Glenn, if you want to sort of hang around. I knew what you were talking about, Bootopia. I just thought that it was funny to have 1515. That's a hefty drink. Sailor Jerry was Jeremy's first spice rum. Love a Jeremy, Jerry. Yeah, you guys were suggesting maybe we would do a little bit of spice rum for this. Yeah, a little spice rum would be good. The problem with spice rum, and the problem with a lot of spice rum is, of course, spice rum is not just spiced, it's also sweetened. It's not just, you don't just add spice. A lot of them add sweeteners. Now, that doesn't mean that all of them add sweeteners. If you want to go find Chairman Reserve is a nice spice rum. I don't think it adds a lot of sweetener. It adds some, but not a lot. You can throw off your sweet ratio if you start doing those spice rums, but you'll be good. Anytime I'm getting absinthe anywhere near one of my cocktails, it makes me nervous, but this one turned out okay. Okay, perfect. Well, there we go. Tiki Tom, obviously not a fan of absinthe, but in this particular case, with this particular cocktail, I think that you'll be all right. Same thing as a zombie. If you sip this one for a minute, you'll realize how very close to a zombie this one almost tastes like. It's much better. It's much better. We have one more fix. We sort of sped through those first two because I also want to get into carbonation. So we're going to get into the carbonation here in a second. Kyle, will you come get your cocktail real quick? And I also, Kyle, I'm going to want a review of this. We all remember Kyle's reviews. We have Galove, Galike, and Gahate. That is how Kyle will tell us what he thinks of the cocktail. A Galove, a Galike, or a Gahate. We're about to find out what Kyle thinks. Here he is. Let me just get one more sip because I'm never going to see this again. Oh, yes, one. Yeah, Kyle. Oh, the last one. Yeah. So we're gonna get a review from the original Sumatra Kula. Go ahead, Kyle. Got to come in a little bit, but that's a Gahate. We Gahated the original Sumatra Kula. That's big one. That's big time. Okay. We're coming in. Put that right there. Got it. We are going to taste the Sumatra Kula right now. We're going to do everything off camera, just like every great show does. A lot of this is just off camera. We're going to tell you what it tastes like instead of show you. All right, here comes Kyle with a review. That's a glove. That's a glove. We have only just by following exactly what a punch should do, we have fixed it from a Gahate to a glove. That is a huge improvement. Kyle is still just sipping that. I don't know why he's still in here sipping it. He has the whole rest of everywhere to sip it. Kim just yells, Kyle, love it. Okay, as a newbie, what makes you decide which shaker to use when making a cocktail? Jeremy, I just want to ask real quick, do you mean whether we're using a Parisian style shaker that has the thing kind of like this? This is my monkey, the one where this little head comes off and you pour out of this, versus using the tins or the Boston shaker? If that's not what you're asking, then clarify, but I will answer that question. I almost never use the Parisian style shakers. I don't feel like they give me enough control. Those are, at this point, somewhat novelty. You don't have control over how much ice gets into your cocktail, and if you lose a piece, it's sort of gone. These are all very interchangeable, these guys. If you want to get weird with it, you can use something called a Boston shaker, which looks like this. This is a pint glass that you then put this guy on. So it's a half and half. I only use this style when I want you guys to see what is going on into what's going into this, because glass turns out breaks. and I don't want things breaking. Also, the cobbler versus Boston fight. No, we don't want a cobbler. To be very fair, I just don't think cobblers work. They work. I mean, I guess they work fine, but they're kind of novelty. They're kind of like when you're just getting into it, somebody gives you a cobbler. I have this one, and that is completely just a novelty. I think that it is important to use these guys because also the metal will help cool your cocktail much faster than with the glass ones. And we don't want to have our ice melting so quickly like a glass one would do. And is my shaker weighted? My good ones are weighted. If you guys want to know what shakers I use almost exclusively, unless somebody's given to me as a present, I use almost exclusively a cocktail shaker with the brand name of Corico. They're Japanese weighted. They're weighted. I think I have about 20 of them. I love them. They just make everything great. Now, Japanese bartenders would argue with me. Yes, Japanese, and you know what? I'm ready for that fight. I'm ready to fight with the Japanese. Loriander likes the Boston. The Bostons are also great. The Bostons are great. I've broken one or two of those. It's terrifying. And also, they don't make your drink as cold as it needs to be, as quick as it needs to be. Okay. Let's get into the final business. Now, when we read from people like David Wondrich about punches, old-timey punches, a lot of them end up having things that are going to carbonate them. Most of the time, that carbonation is going to come from sparkling wine. We live in the future now, though. We are literally, right now, this is the future. Okay? So wrap your head around that. We are in the future. I have a different way to use I just have to answer this. I never use glass. I broke them as well. So a glass thing is called a Boston. The other ones are just called tins. A Boston shaker is a glass and a tin. As far as I know, I may be wrong about that. And my father was born in Boston, which is, of course, the other reason that I don't use Boston shakers. I don't want to be reminded constantly about my dad yelling at me about shaking my drinks wrong. I just can't have that. Or what it really is I don't want him telling me bartending. Get out of here. Okay. Anyway, we are living in the future. We now have ways to take carbon and put it into drinks in order to make them carbonated, creating something called carbonic acid, which, although an acid sounds like it is going to be a sweet thing or a sour thing, it's actually going to be one of our bitters. And the way we're doing that is with this guy. This is our future right here. This right here is a carbon, it's a carbon dioxide tank. It has one of these guys. Let's put it right here. Oh, and so it has one of these guys, and we are going to be able to force carbonate this drink very quickly. We're going to do it in a single size. Remember, we like the single sizes. When we do a single size punch, it's often called a sling, and we're going to be doing it in this old Dr. Pepper can or a plastic bottle. That's how we're doing this. Now, I have squeezed all the air out of this. What we want, we're going to do that again, but we can see that this has some give. It's already been carbonated, so we know that it has some give. That's what we're doing. So we're going to force carbonate a cocktail so that we aren't adding any more liquid to this. Things like soda water, etc. We want to control our water, so we're going to just force carbonate everything that's going in here. So we're going to put this down for a second. We're going to learn from our mistakes from a moment ago, and we're going to make a brand new. Let me show you guys. This is a Corico set. Oh gosh, it's clearly I use them all the time. It says Corico right down here. There, truly, if you aren't bartending like as a job, you only need one set of Coricos, maybe two set of Coricos. I think they're like $40, which is kind of crazy for just two like punch tins. But trust me, they're the best. UF Mark says, now that's a soda stream. This is a soda stream. This is, could have bought a soda stream. Did not buy a soda stream. Instead, I went with the way more manual version of this. Anyway, okay, let's start out. We want 1 a sour, 2 a sweet. Now, what do we say about the last drink? We found it to be a little under soured. So we're going to bump up some of that just a touch, or you know what, probably what we're going to do is we're going to bring back some of the sweet. So let's stay at the same amount. Let's go ahead and put in half an ounce of some lime juice. This is how we create cocktails. All right, this is how we do it. We start off with something we know works. 1 a sour, 2 a sweet, 3 a strong, 4 weak, and a little spice to make it nice, and then we can start to adjust. Yeah, sorry to throw you off track, but the set I ordered is the one with removable top. Yeah, honestly, Jeremy, you're going to find that that's fine. To be honest, I think what you should do, you can shake in that and then just get one of these as well. The only thing that those cobbler ones don't do is adjust how much ice gets into your drink. All right. And that's something that we want to talk about. You know what? In the next drink, we'll talk about how that works. We're going to throw in, I think we probably want to keep it the same if we're going to bring back some of our sweet. So let's go ahead and put in half an ounce of some grapefruit juice. This is white grapefruit juice. If you're using pink grapefruit juice, you got to adjust it all over the place because, of course, pink grapefruit juice is going to be a little sweeter. Not interested. Okay. Orange juice did not play a huge part in the drink that I just drank, so I think we're going to probably keep it the same and bring back our honey. I think the honey might have been throwing this off a touch. So we're going to keep this the same, 3/4 of an ounce of some orange juice. And then the culprit was the honey. With 2 to 1, we know that we're putting in an awful lot of honey, more honey than any other liquid. It's a plurality of honey going in here. I think from drinking the last one, I think 3/4 of an ounce of honey is going to be what we need. So go ahead and put in 3/4 of an ounce of 2 to 1 runny honey. Now, normally, if we were making this cocktail, now would be a great time to put in your bitters. So you can put in your Angostura bitters, you can put in your absinthe now. However, and this is something that I had to learn, just hard knocks. I had to find out why my drinks weren't tasting right when I used to carbonate large, they're called Cornelius kegs. Why my drinks always came out tasting crazy bitter. It's because carbonic acid will connect with any sort of bitter you have going on in here, and it will make it 10 times more bitter. So we don't want to put anything into our liquid that we're going to be carbonating if that thing we're putting in is too bitter. So don't put your bitters in if you're going to carbonate something. Put them in afterwards so that you can control the bitter a lot better. We need better bitter control. All right? That's what we need. I think 2 ounces of some Bacardi is probably just about right for this. We tried to go a little bit more. If you have a stronger, more fun, we do. All right. We're trying to make this the best. Let's bring it out. We have a really fun white rum back here that we're big fans of our brother in YouTube arms. This is Spike's Breezeway. We're gonna just find a nice rum to throw in here. Just so you guys know, when I am speaking at Tiki Oasis, hopefully you guys will be watching Sunday, August 4th at 12 p.m. And if you're not going to be there, Sunday, August 4th, 12 p.m. here at Dr. Cush's Exotic Drinks, we'll be using Kahlua. We'll be using one of my drinks is going to have Kahlua in it. So go ahead and put in 2 ounces of a white rum. You can go up to 3 ounces if you want. That would make this drink make more sense, but not everybody can handle all that. I see a Yeti has a shaker now. Jeremy, stop. Don't do it. Jeremy, if you're going to get a shaker, get a Carico. I'm telling you, Yeti is going to be more expensive, and they aren't in the shaker business. Get your get Caricos. Oh, Doug just saw my thing. Storm Chaser. This is Stormy. Let's get down here. This is Stormy right here. This is the name of the seal on Black Seal rum. His name is Stormy. Isn't that cute? I think it's cute. Okay, this is good. We need to add a little bit of water. Okay, we need to add a little bit of water because we're going to be serving this one. We're not really going to be better if this was ice cold water. It's not ice cold water, but this is just a little bit of water. We're going to go ahead and put in 2 ounces of some water. This is really instead of shaking this cocktail and adding the water by shaking. We're going to add the water like that. As cold a water as you can get. The colder your stuff is, the more it will carbonate, the better it will carbonate. We're going to take, why don't we open this up first? So we're just going to take our drink here. We're going to pour it right into this empty Dr. Pepper jar. And then we are going to squeeze as much air as we can out of this. Put this off to the side, and this is what we need. All right. Let me show you what we need to make this work. This right here. This is a little piece. Most places, most like cities at this point, have a brewery supply store. You can find this little piece at a brewery supply store. Basically, this piece latches in to your carbonator. I don't know, the ball and lock system, and then this side will screw right on top of here. That way you can force carbonate a lot of these drinks. And remember, when you're force carbonating something, you are adding carbonic acid, which is not sour. Instead, it is bitter. We've all had Coca-Cola that has gone flat. We don't taste that carbonic acid anymore, and it's way too sweet. The bitter is what's fighting that sweet. So let's see how we do this best. I forget sometimes that this is a show bar and not necessarily a working bar. We're going to go ahead and put this right in there. We're going to click that there. And then we are going to attach this right here. We're going to get a little bit more out of this. You want the flatter this is, like the more air you're able to put in here, the more carbonated you can get it. So we're just going to really squeeze this down, and then we're going to give that a little screw there. There we go. Hopefully that's nice and flat. You see that's really flat there. And then we're going to turn this guy on. We're going to turn it on nice and slow. Hold it like that. There we go. All right. So what we have now in here is an awful lot of carbon, carbon dioxide, CO2. We're going to give this a shake. You know how like you would shake up a cocktail, or sorry, shake up a drink to make it really, what was it, fizzy? We're going to get all that in there, and then we are going to make sure this is off. There we go. Then we're going to unleash this. There we go. So now we have introduced dun, 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 CO2 into our cocktail. We shake this, you see it has all of the same stuff as a normal soda would. If you want to, you can really sort of give this another. Actually, gosh, I wonder if you can get that on. I just spent out all that stuff. Anyway, if you are interested in this way to go at all, instead of a soda stream, get one of those. Maybe just get a soda stream. I don't care. So now this has a lot of bubbles in it. Lots and lots of bubbles. It has lots of CO2. If you want to get it bigger, you want to get more bubbles in there, you can squeeze this again and do it a second time. I don't want to do that. I think one is just fine. We're going to go ahead and put this. What's that? That's weird. We're going to go ahead and put this into a drink like this. We are going to pour this in here. It sounds very much like it is a soda being poured. And then we're going to toss this in. Now, the rule that I always tell you guys, do not shake a cocktail that has carbonation in it. So we won't. We're going to give this a stir. Nice, easy stir. Jeremy Foote saying all the right stuff. He would not buy a Yeti shaker, more of a novelty thing, I think. Yeah, I don't think that it would be wise to get a Yeti shaker. You know what? Maybe I'll call up the Yeti people, see if they want to send me one, and then we can try it out. Go ahead and pour. This is no way that's going to work. This is just going to be way too small. We'll go in here. Pour this guy in here. There we go. However, we are missing something. We have added some bitter to this, but we haven't added the bitters that we want. We're going to go ahead and add just a little bit of Angostura bitters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're going to add a little bit of absinthe to this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Give this one more stir here. So we are much closer. Not exactly. Not everything. You know, the punch recipe doesn't work exactly every time, but very similar to 1 of sour, 2 of sweet. We have less sour than we have sweet. We have more strong than we have the rest of them, or usually an equal amount of strong as to the rest of them. We're pretty close there. We could bump up the rum a little bit. We have some weak. We added some water to this, and also as this goes, the ice will melt a little bit. The stirring will help that. We have also added a little spice. Which spices have we added? We added Donn's favorite spice, which is, of course, absinthe and absinthe and Angostura. And we've also added carbonic acid, which is a bittering agent. Works really nicely. This right here, in my opinion, is a more proper way to make a drink called the Sumatra Kula. We have used our what we've been learning all summer in the summer of punch. Let's try this out. Let's see how much carbonation we got in here. It worked. The bubbles did bring out a little bit more of the grapefruit. The grapefruit took to the bubbles more than the honey did. So maybe we can bump that honey up just a touch. But as of right now, with the carbonation that we have done, we have sort of we've added a bit more bitter to this. We have added we've figured it out. We're very close on this. What's really nice is in the future, if we decide we want to make this for, say, a party, those are fairly easy proportions to do. It's much easier to make a proper cocktail when it is in huge batches. You get a big swing there of mixing stuff up. That is freaking awesome. If Donn had this ability, I have every belief. I have all the beliefs in the world that he would have absolutely carbonated this cocktail. If you, in a pinch, can you just add a bit of soda water to the cocktail? Yes, absolutely. I added water and then carbonated it. In a pinch, absolutely, you can do this. Okay, people are asking, is there better than a glove? Glenn is asking for Kyle. Kyle, do you want to come in here and give this a taste? Kyle, tell me what you think about this one. And then we're going to just very quickly, while Kyle's doing that, I bought some wine and I've never tried this. We're going to try and carbonate wine real quick. I bought a big, ugly box of wine. Oh, there we go. Jeremy already has a soda stream. Yes. Oh, yes. We're looking for an opinion. Kyle, go ahead and give that an opinion. We're looking for, is it higher than a glove? Is there a way? Please don't drop that glass. While Kyle's drinking that, so I'm just going to bring this out. We're just going to try and carbonate a little wine. I think that'll be fun. I can't see Kyle's face. He turned right away from me. Okay, here it comes. Kyle has an opinion. Technically higher than a glove. Technically is way higher than a glove. That's a high glove. He loves it. I think that's great. Should we do this now or should we? You know what? We're going to try it real quick. Yeah, send them in. Yeah, send them in. Okay. I'm going to try and carbonate this real quick. We're just going to add a little bit of wine in here and we're going to try and carbonate it. And then we have two very special guests coming in here to hang out with me. I just want to see, is it at all the same as doing something like a champagne, or is it way different? Let's just add this real quick before they come in. 1 sec. I don't want to spray them with anything. We're just going to try. 1 second, guys. There we go. Okay, we have carbonated. We're going to give that a shake. We're going to try one more time. We're going to get this wine out of here. And then we are going to try that once more. Let's put it here. Okay, give that a shake. Let's see if this makes champagne. I don't think it will. All right. Carbonic maceration. That sounds amazing. Okay. Move this out. Okay, I have a drink. I want to bring in, yeah. Huh? Okay, we're going to stall now. So this right here is a carbonated wine. We all know, of course, that when the people of the Champagne region decided that they wanted to make wine just like the people of the Burgundy region, they made really crappy wine. And what happens to really crappy wine? Well, all of those little yeasts that were eating it started eating and farting inside of the bottles, and it became carbonated, which is usually the sign of a bad wine. However, champagne is now a much more popular thing than is the other stuff. So we are going to just try this, see if it works. It is certainly carbonated. Is it champagne though? Can't do it. Okay. I have two very, very special guests. You may know them. You may know one of them from painting this picture of her, call me Uncle T, of her Uncle T. They have been a guest on my show before. We are going to do a quick cheers of kombucha with my nieces. Come on, nieces, let's go in. Let's come on in here. Don't step on any of this. Let me pick you up over here. You give me this. I'll get you. Oh yeah, there she is. Has this been opened? Yeah. Okay. All right. Arch, do you see right there? There are little glasses. No, little right above them. Right there. Those guys. Yeah. Those were a gift from your dad. There we go. Right there. I need one more. It's going to be the three of us. So can you hand me one more? There we go. We're just drinking a little bit of Uncle T's very famous kombucha. Do you guys remember what type of kombucha this was? Honey. Honey kombucha? Why do you think we're drinking honey kombucha? Because you guys are apiarists, aren't you? You guys are raising your own little bees. Go ahead and grab one. Do you want this one? Okay. Can we do a little cheers? The time has come, my little ones, to talk of other things, of ships, of shoes, of sealing wax, of cabbages and kings, and why the sea is boiling hot, and whether pigs have wings. Cheers. Cheers, cheers, cheers to you guys. Thank you for watching. Do you guys want to give that a glove, a like, or a hate? That's a glove, and that's a glove. We've done it. We love it. We have done it. All right. Thank you guys for watching my alcohol show. These are my nieces. We love them very much. Remember, these classes will always remain free, but if you can help out, we have a Patreon right down there. If you want to get your name on a bottle, get a Patreon. If you want to just send a couple bucks, in the meanwhile, I do have a Venmo and a PayPal right down there. If you send me that, I will take a shot with you. If you can't help out that way, a great way to do it is to tell your friends to like, subscribe, share, and comment. Tell your friends all about this show. Have them come out, or maybe watch on August 4th. Watch on August 4th, where we are going to be live at Tiki Oasis. And if you can't help out that way, the best way to do it is show up. We do classes Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays here at Dr. Cush's Dr. Tricks, 6 p.m. on Pacific time. Oh, sorry, am I pulling your hair? My bad. Thank you guys so much for watching. We love you. We have figured out the Sumatra Kula. I think, what did you guys think of the show? That's a glove. That's a glove. As always, guys, you guys are the best. You guys make my day. And I will see you on the next one. We will be back here on Tuesday. Do you want to push this one? Don't do it yet. Don't do it yet. What do we always say? We say
goodbye.
Goodbye.
All I am, just a regular human
I thought they gave me a small loan of a million.